Got vision and destiny. Add elemental, that's chemistry. All those heroes, that's infinity. It's endgame. That's
Yugi peoples, welcome to the commentary. Alright, so this one right here is my legend anthology loner deck, that I used in a tournament playing against Raidraptors. Yeah, this ended up being my toughest match to win here. And I didn't even actually end up winning this one. It ended up being a draw, but it was a very good duel. And yeah, so you look at my play mat and my sleeves. We got the old school heroes there with Prisma, and then you go Avian, Burstinatrix, Bubble Man. And yeah, this is like some of them are in the deck right now. Clayman, Sparkman, all of them except Bubble Man are currently inside of this deck. So yeah, this was actually my first time going against Raidraptor, so I wasn't even sure exactly what to do against this deck. But even if I did know where to hand trap it, there are no hand traps in this deck, as y'all should know that the loner decks from Master Duel are pretty bad. So yeah, I feel like with the loner deck things, like they should put you up against other people who are playing the loner decks, because you end up playing against something like this and it's just like you stand no chance, especially because they didn't put not a single going second card inside of the deck. Yeah, it was crazy. Well, I guess favorite contact starts as a going second card, but yeah, pretty much all I can do here is like listen to him explain what the cards do and what they do. And then keep in mind, this is a heart of the underdog format tournament. They just haven't quite hit this deck yet, but it seems like pretty resilient to me, and it does quite a bit, because I think his inboard ends up being like three monster negates or something like that. But yeah, so yep, I just get to hear what all these cards do. Not even still sure what I would do against this in the TCG. Like, I haven't just like really paid attention to it. I wasn't actually like really expecting to play it. But one of the things I noticed is that like Droll doesn't really seem to do too much, as he ended up setting a lot of most of the cards and stuff. So we end up drawing for turn. Oh, I guess this counts as a going second card. There is a Harpy's Feather Duster in the main deck, and I thought when I drew that, I thought I actually had a chance until he ranked up one of the cards and put out a 3 monster negate. And as you can see, my surprise here is to where I had to read this. I was like, wait, this thing ain't once per turn? Yeah, that thing's not once per turn. And yeah, so especially like with a deck like this, as you can see, I opened up the increase and it wasn't too much I could do. We go ahead and do the emergency call, try to get the honest Neos. I was gonna just try to see if I could bait out as many monster negates as possible, see if maybe I was able to do something. But yeah, this is gonna end up being nothing. I was trying to bait them all out, that way I could like Spirit of Neos on the next turn. We summon the Avian. We end up using the Honest Neos, trying to boost its attack. Of course, he's going to negate it. We activate the Miracle Fusion there, using those two to go ahead and try to make our we're gonna go ahead and make our our Infernal Rage. And we're going to try to I was trying to decide whether or not I should activate his effect, which, like I said, I'm trying to bait his stuff out. So yeah, he goes ahead and negates the effect, and then he gets some other link monster. I mean, not some other link, but some other stuff going as he drew for turn, and then immediately went to battle phase and tried to attack. And I activate Spirit of Neos to try to live, but unfortunately there just wasn't enough there for me to be able to like get through all that stuff. So yeah, now going first into this turn, I think like my main strategy was to go ahead and hit him with the favorite contact as soon as possible, blow up two of his monsters, because I noticed that like a lot of them require another Raidraptor or Dark Monster to be on the board. So I figure he's probably not gonna summon something with too many different attributes. Like I think I saw an Earth attribute monster off in there, but pretty much most of them were dark. So I feel like at the most I was probably gonna get like 2 pops, and I just wanted to be careful of which ones I do pop, because some of them have like graveyard effects and such. So I was going to side in Book of Moon and stuff like that for the ones that have graveyard effects and book those, and then just pop the other ones with Shining Neos Wingman. And yeah, that was pretty much like the strategy going off inside of here. I think I was trying to decide whether or not to leave the effect veilers in, and yeah, I think I ended up leaving at least one of them in, but I just didn't think that it would be like all that great for some reason. Oh, because they were still like on the board and still able to do stuff, and it still allowed him to extend, especially like if it was one of those ones that had a graveyard effect and could, you know, do something while it was in the graveyard after he didn't like linked it off into something. So yeah, I just figured that effect veiler probably wouldn't be like the best card, so ended up going with, I believe, like Torrential and Book of Moon for the most part. And yeah, they actually like ended up like playing an effect in this duel. And as you can see, I did open up that Veiler, but we go ahead, start off with what's his name, Ferris into Shadow Mist. We're going to use Shadow Mist to grab our Stratos. And yeah, we're just like on our way pretty much to our turn. We're going to use increase effect to go ahead and special summon Vion effect to send Destiny Hero Decider, because there's no malicious in this deck, and on top of that, there's no Destiny Hero fusion monsters in this deck either. So I was still kind of rather confused as to why he was in the deck. But we're going to use Cross Crusader to go ahead and special summon the Decider, you know, activate Decider's effect, which will allow me to add a hero from my graveyard to my hand at the end of the turn. I don't think it's really going to matter too much, but we're going to go ahead and summon out that Solid Soldier, use his effect to special summon out our Stratos and grab our Spirit of Neos, because things might not go exactly how I want them to go. And we're going to link those two guys off into our Wonder Driver. Into our Infernal Devicer. We're going to reveal our Shiny Neos Wingman to go ahead and grab our OG Neos. We are going to polymerization off the OG Neos and our Liquid Soldier to go ahead and grab that favorite contact. Then we're gonna draw 2, discard 1, which actually like ends up being, I think like in the end I ended up with like three interruptions or something like that. Go ahead and tribute off our Infernal Rage to go ahead and get our Miracle Fusion via the Sunrise. And yeah, I just wish I had like another monster that would have been worth going out to go get here. That way I could, you know, put Solid Soldier to some use. But unfortunately, the way this extra deck is made is like, yeah, it doesn't really do anything at all. Go ahead and link those guys off into our Wonder Driver here. Go ahead and set favorite contact and set our Book of Moon here. So yeah, the Solid Soldier didn't end up being much use, but he starts off with Raidraptor things. They allow them to special summon each other. And like I said, I was just checking mostly to see if they had graveyard effects, because the first two that he put out here, I really just wanted to go ahead and pop them with our Shiny Neos Wingman, and hopefully that would be enough to stop them from doing stuff. So yeah, I'm looking at them, checking, reading, doing things that we don't usually do. And since they don't have graveyard effects, I decided to go ahead and flip up that favorite contact, special summon my Shining Neos Wingman, special summon him to the zone Wonder Driver is pointing to, and reset that polymerization. But yeah, this one, I guess it did have some kind of graveyard effect. I didn't think it was like significant though, because I figured that he would have to have I just didn't want it to be a special summon from the graveyard. But yeah, he's able to search out stuff, and then this allows him to, for some reason that one gets special summoned, go ahead and Book of Moon it, because I don't want it in the graveyard. But he's got other extenders and such, and he just keep on going. So now he's still doing things and special summoning monsters and going. And yeah, so I have failed attempt here in order to stop his deck, you know. And so far we're at what is it, like we used a favorite contact to pop 2 of them. We Book a Moon, another one that I didn't want in the graveyard. And yeah, so might actually have to do some research and see how to beat this deck. But as you can see now, he starts Exceed Summoning, and I know this is where things get crazy, because then it allows him to start, you know, ranking up and doing all those crazy things. He grabs another extender. Allows him to special summon by detaching a material, then even another extender. And yeah, he said that what was it? He drew like all the extenders, so you know he was pretty lucky in this matchup. And yeah, just explaining to me what all things do. They end up special summoning another monster to the board, and now he starts doing the things to. We're gonna go ahead and I think I'll go ahead and just effect Veiler that one because I don't want him ranking up and doing things and such. So no, actually maybe I didn't. Maybe I didn't Veiler that one. I'll go ahead and let it go. And yeah, just letting him continue to do his thing here. I was just kind of waiting for a monster to come out that, you know, would do something crazy and like really hard to. Oh no, the reason why I didn't effect Veiler it is because it had some monster that made it to where it couldn't be targeted by card effects. So yeah, be aware of that also. Like when they have some of those monsters as materials, it gives them extra effects, and I actually almost ended up losing this game because of that. So yeah, as we continue to see, he special summons out this 4K attack monster that's unaffected by all other card effects. Unaffected. Yep, it's a tower. And then not only does there end up being one of them, I think by the time this turn ends, there ends up being two of them. Yeah, as you can see, he's still doing stuff here, still Raidraptoring, and yeah, I do believe it puts a bunch of material on there, and he's got a second one. And then this one also gains attack equal to one of the monsters that's like that it has as material. So this thing was like at like 40, no, not like 40, it was like at 50 or 60 something, 6,000 something. It was at a lot. So yeah, he goes to attack into my Wonder Driver. And yeah, we go ahead and allow that one to happen right there. And yeah, but our fortunately our Shiny Neos wingman is, you know, really big. I think he's like at 8,000 something, and then like by the time we get into our turn, he ends up being like 9K or something like that. But you know, it can't be shuffled into the extra deck and can't be destroyed by card effect. And so now we like adding up the total because he was letting me know how strong that monster is. We ended up like I think it was like 13 times 300 or something like that. So yeah, I think I ended up at like 9,600 attack. It was something huge that he just couldn't get over, and he doesn't end up being able to deal with it. So yeah, I ended up actually getting an extra turn here instead of just flat outright dying, thanks to Shiny Neos wingman. This card is so good on so many levels. So now when it comes back to my turn, you know, I'm going to be trying to figure out what I can do to win this game, because that thing has a lot of attack points to it, and I have like, you know, just a bunch of a bunch of normal monsters. As you can see, I do believe that is Sparkman that I have in my hand. Unfortunately, I do believe that is what I drew for turn. But yeah, we're going to activate this Miracle Fusion here. I think my thing was I was going to try to get to Honest Neos, and I felt like it was my only way to really get there because they're all unaffected by other card effects. So we're going to go ahead and Miracle Fusion here, of course, using, you know, Big Chill and Cross Crusader. We're going to draw 2, discard 1, and go ahead and discard the Sparkman. We're going to emergency call in the Stratos to go grab our Honest Neos, which I figured, you know, would be good enough. We're going to link those two guys off into our Infernal Devicer, and basically I just wanted to link them off so that I could get the Big Chills effect. But it's not going to destroy those two guys because they're unaffected by monster effects. But now, here comes the time when Generation Next comes in, allows me to make the Dread Decimator, because, you know, I've taken a lot of damage by him smashing those guys into my Sunrise and into my Wonder Driver. So we're going to use Generation Next to special summon an extender. And yeah, its effects and everything is negated, which is fine. We just needed to be able to get Dread Decimator out on the board. I needed the extra damage, so we're going to link those guys off into Dread Decimator and, you know, start counting up the attack and everything that we have. And then I make a huge play mistake, because while I was calculating and doing the damage and everything, for some reason when I go to attack, I attack into that monster and I use the Honest Neos because I was like, I wanted the extra 100, for both of them for, getting the Dread Decimator damage and stuff. So we calculated up, redo it and everything and stuff. But then I forgot that this other guy is 4,000 also, and Dread Decimator is like 100. I think like 100 short from being able to attack over it. So yeah, I ended up messing that one up. He ends up taking a 4K from the Shining Neos Wingman. And yeah, that actually leaves him at 100 life points, unfortunately. And yeah, I just completely end up blowing that game. For some reason, I just thought, that was going to be the end of it. And it is not. So yeah, quite unfortunate. But, thanks. I actually got to use the Generation X. So I was actually like pretty excited about that. We're going to set the Torrential and hope that it helps. So now he starts doing Raidraptor things. He's going to bring out that guy. And he starts, I guess, like we're getting like pretty close to time. He starts doing things really, really fast. But I was like looking at that, checking his graveyard to see if he had any other graveyard effects. And I go ahead and decide to Torrential before he brings out that, what is it? Because I'm not sure exactly how the Rebellion Dragon thing works, but I'm pretty sure I didn't want him out on the board. So we're going to go ahead and Torrential that old school Edison format trap cards off of here. But yeah, like I said, I wanted to keep it old school with the deck. So yeah, we end up hitting them with the Torrential Tribute there. But somehow this deck is still going. It's still extending and still making monsters and doing things and such. But yeah, I think like in the middle of it, time ends up being called, and yeah, it just ends up being a draw. But the duel was still, so much fun. It was my first time playing against this deck, trying to figure out what I need to do in order to stop it. Just like with no hand traps, he was free to just kind of do whatever he wanted to do. And yeah, he what is it? What did that thing just do? Oh, it gained attack. Did he like gain attack equal to my attack or something like that? And then when he goes to attack with that guy, we're going to special summon out the Spirit of Neos, which will protect my life points. And I think like my only target was like instant contact. Oh no, I had a second polymerization. There was a second polymerization in that deck list, but there wasn't like a lot more that could be done. I think like at this point I was just kind of like out of resources and such, but he didn't have a way to out the Spirit of Neos. And here I'm just trying to decide if bringing out any of these guys actually does anything. We're gonna go ahead and activate the polymerization, go ahead and bring out our shining, not our shining Neos, but we're gonna bring out our what is it, Sunrise. And yeah, I don't think there was like pretty much anything else we could do. As you can see, they come over letting us know what's going on. But I did try to make a play. There was just no more plays to be made. There wasn't too much else I could do. And then I also couldn't remember if if I left in the other Miracle Fusion, but I did not. So now we're just using Spirit of Neos to stall my opponent out. He's like been through most of his extra deck and like a whole lot of his Exceed monsters and everything. And I just think in the end, he just didn't have a way to out the Spirit of Neo. So this card ended up, saving my life points. And we ended up getting a draw against the Raidraptor deck, which, was just kind of, I think he was like undefeated at that point. But because we drew, I think like the undefeated deck, like going into Top Cut was like Amazonis or something like that. But yeah, it's a fun duel. I had a lot of fun playing the deck. And yeah, appreciate everybody for staying a while to listen. And I will catch y'all on the next video.
My wingman, he come through, he level up, he go cool, he's shining out and popping to over 9K. That's a breakthrough. Be on top now. Here's a look at all